Hello and welcome to Foreigndesk on Benue Television. I am Susan Ayo. The headlines: South Africa's parliament choosing president amid uncertainty. State of disaster as downpours hit Chile. Putin calls G7 deals on frozen Russian assets for Ukraine loan theft. Now the news in details. The top courts in military-governed Niger has lifted the immunity of the country's disposed president, Mohamed Bazoum, paving the way for a possible trial nearly a year after he was overthrown by the rebellious soldiers. Abdou Dan Galadima, president of the state court, the country's highest legal authority that was created in November by the military government, announced the decision on Friday. The military authorities had initiated the legal proceedings earlier this year, declaring their intention to eventually prosecute Bazoum for high treason and for undermining national security. Under house arrest with his family, Bazoum is accused of having spoken by telephone with French President Emmanuel Macron and the United States Secretary of State Antony Blinken in a bid to secure Western support during the July 2023 coup. The court proceedings were postponed twice, with Bazoum's lawyer complaining of several obstacles to the right of a defense. They have been unable to communicate with him since last October. Human Rights Watch, an international rights group, has alleged the hearing was marred by serious irregularities, including violation of Bazoum's right to present violence in his defense, the communicates with his legal counsel, and to be heard before an independent court. South Africa's newly elected parliament has converged to choose the country's next president, with the country on the political knife-edge since last month's election. Lawmakers meeting on Friday are expected to re-elect President Cyril Ramaphosa to form an unprecedented coalition government after his governing African National Congress (ANC) party paved together a coalition deal following the May 29 vote. Ramaphosa, 71, is seeking a second term, but his ANC party has been weakened after losing its long-held majority, gathering 40% of the vote. It will now need the support of other parties if Ramaphosa is to return as president. On Friday, the ANC reportedly reached a deal on forming a unity government with Democratic Alliance, a key party in coalition talks after winning a 21% share of the vote. The agreement, which is also include the Inkatha Freedom Party and the Patriotic Alliance, would see the DA take the position of deputy speaker. It was clear whether it would see coalition partners electing Ramaphosa as president. The Friday sitting is expected to take hours, with the 400 members parliament first electing a speaker and deputy speaker before the vote for president. At least one party, the MK party of former ANC leader and South African President Jacob Zuma, has said it would boycott the first sitting and its 58 lawmakers will not take their seats. The G7 group of countries announced a plan on Thursday to use frozen Russian assets to finance a $50 billion loan for Ukraine as Kyiv continues its desperate campaign to stop its bigger neighbor's force from advancing further. 28 months into the Moscow's war, the announcement came as leaders of the grouping, which consists of the United States, United Kingdom, Germany, Italy, Canada, Japan, France, and European Union, met at the annual summit held in Puglia, Apulia, Italy. The funds could help Ukraine defend itself against Russia, but the plan carries risks and the threats of Russian retaliation. U.S. President Joe Biden left, and Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky leave after they signed a bilateral security agreement on the sidelines of the G7 summit at Sevletri, Italy, June 13, 2024. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, who attended the summit, hailed the move as a vital step forward in providing sustainable support for Ukraine in winning the war. But just hours after the announcement, Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova promised that there will be extremely painful measures in retaliation. You're watching Foreigndesk on Benue Television. Let's take a quick break. Don't go away. Glad to have you back. Russia's President Vladimir Putin has denounced an agreement by Western countries to provide Ukraine with a loan package using frozen Russian assets and pledged retaliation. Speaking at a meeting on Friday with officials from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Putin said leaders in the West were trying to come up with some kind of legal basis for the assets freezes. But despite all the trickery, theft is still theft and will not go unpunished. He added that Moscow's treatment was proof that anyone could be next and punished by any assets freeze. Putin's comment came after the group of 7 members agreed at a summit in Italy on an outline deal for a $50 billion loan package for Ukraine to help it acquire weapons and rebuild destroyed infrastructure using interest from Russian sovereign assets frozen after Putin sent his troops into the neighboring country in February 2022. Following the deals, the announcement at the annual summit in Porgalia, Apulia, U.S. President Joe Biden said the frozen assets agreement was a significant outcome and another reminder to Putin that they were not backing down. The details of the agreements are expected to be finalized in coming weeks, and the money is to be expected to reach Ukraine by the end of the year. However, Russia's Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova dismissed the deal on saying it was just a piece of paper. Similarly, President Joe Biden will meet privately with Pope Francis on Friday on the sidelines of the G7 summit in southern Italy, in what is expected to be a personally meaningful sit-down for the president, who has spoken frequently about the significance of his Catholic faith. A senior administrator official Friday said that the two men were likely to discuss the war in Ukraine, the situation in the Middle East, and the climate change. The Pope, who is making history this week by becoming the first pontiff to attend a G7 gathering, will also sit with the group of world leaders to discuss, among other things, finding an ethical framework to underpin the development. Reports said that the Friday meeting will mark the 5th time Biden has met with this Pope. The Pope also visited the United States in the months following the president's son Bill's death in 2015 and held a private meeting with Biden and his extended family in Pennsylvania. The Pope is also expected to meet separately with a number of other leaders in southern Italy, including Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Heavy rains have battered southern and central Chile, killing not less the God down. Chile's central region had battled